So in today's video, I'm going over something that I get asked probably once or twice a week, whether it be email or comment, and that's how do I get into the technology field? There's entire YouTube channels sprung up about IT career questions and on this and that. And I'm just going to give you guys the real truth. Some of it you're probably not going to like, but it's probably what you need to hear. So that's what I'm going to do in this video, just from my personal experience doing this since pretty much 2000. First off, I'm going to give you my background, how I got started, just the Cliff Notes version of it, how I got into tech. I got into tech basically getting a job in computer sales, networking through my manager that I fixed his computer and some other stuff, and then he got a job somewhere else, and then I got hired on as a computer technician and got my first shot, and then I went from there and expanded and got some higher education through the forms of certifications. Those certifications were Small Business Server at the time, 2003, and Windows XP. So I got those two certifications, moved up, got into doing actual business work, and then pretty much the rest is history. So that's how I got my started. I worked really hard. I networked through there. I got a certification once I got my foothold in doing just basic work, whether it be help desk or fixing basic computers, and then got certified to basically up my game and make myself eligible to work on more complex systems like businesses and things like that in the early 2000s. So that's my start. However, I'm going to have some things I've learned over the years, things I've interviewed and said, hey, would be nice to have if people said this and those types of things. I'm going to kind of lay all that out so you guys can get a wealth of knowledge if you're interested in getting into the IT field. So as far as certifications, should you get them? What do they mean? Does college degrees matter? This is kind of like a trending thing on YouTube right now, saying college degrees are scams and this and that. They're fine. They get your foot in the door. If you got some rich parents that pay your way, go for it. You know, hey, it's not your dime. But if you don't have that and you're thinking about putting yourself on $250,000 in debt just because you want that piece of paper thinking it means something, yeah, it's just more of a place to start, guys. A college degree doesn't mean jack to me. As a hiring manager or any kind of manager, I see it, I'm like, that's nice. But what experience does this person have doing what I want them to do? And that is business. That's the real world. And let's just get into that. I mean, that's what we're here for. College degrees in IT, someone that goes to college to get into the IT field is a fool. You don't do that. You go to college to become a doctor, a lawyer, you know, something that requires a college degree. You don't go to a college to get a liberal arts degree or a degree in psychology or history. Maybe if you want to become a history teacher, yeah. But these things are just a huge waste of money. You're setting your back probably 10, 15 years, and you should be working and contributing to a 401k in your 20s. That 401k in your 20s is going to equal hundreds of thousands of dollars in your 40s and 50s if you started today, if you were 20 years old. So, you know, things I've learned over the years is, man, I should have started in 20 and then immediately done the max on my 401k and then just ate ramen or whatever it might have been to make it by. That 401k would probably be, you know, $500,000 or something crazy by now. But live and learn, right? Now you have that knowledge. Don't waste your money on a college degree if IT is what you're passionate about and that's what you want to do as a career. So let's say you got your degree or certification now, and you really are looking for it. Now, don't think that you need these things to get started. As I mentioned, I took a different path, and I networked and got in that way through just people skills. Now, another path, the guy that hired me at my very first job as computer sales and got me in as a technician, his name's Mike, and I still talk to him this day. I have that relationship in his story and how he got into IT, and he turned into running an entire shop down in Austin now, has a ton of technicians, works on some of the biggest data centers in the entire world. And his story is he got in through military. He was in the military. He started his IT career through that, and he transitioned when he got out of the military into the residential space and got a really good job in California and eventually moved to Texas, where I'm at right now. So he took a completely different path, but there's two unique paths that don't require a college degree, and pretty much any IT career that I've ever heard of kind of started in this manner. It's that networking, it's that getting your foot in the door, that initial step's the hardest. But don't be discouraged, and don't think you need to know everything when you're starting out, because I sure didn't. So as far as the networking goes, what does that look like? Try and get something kind of close to what you're looking to get into. For me, I got into computer sales because I figured I'd meet somebody that knew something about computers and I could kind of befriend them and network with them, and those types of things. Networking is extremely vital in the business world. Constantly be networking. Go out. It's like going to a conference and then not talking to anybody at the conference. You're wasting your time. You should have been constantly talking to all these other people. I'm extremely shy. I'm an introvert. I don't like doing those things, but I try and force myself to actually get up. I may not, chat up with the person sitting next to me at a conference, but afterwards, when break hits, I try and at least kind of hang around the food maybe, and try and chat it up with somebody standing there looking probably socially awkward, because let's face it, if you're in the IT field, you're going to be socially awkward. It's just degrees of socially awkward. I'm kind of in that lower end field of socially awkward, but I'm still socially awkward as hell when I compare to normal people. So that said, just try and get out of that bubble. Greatness usually comes from being uncomfortable. It's just one of those things. You got to be uncomfortable for greatness to happen, and networking is one of those things. Next up is interview skills. Interview skills is something that is just badly not trained in school or anywhere, really. I don't know why nobody tells anybody this, but when I have somebody walk in, I expect them to know about the company, to know the standard answers to any of those interview questions. If you're asked what's your biggest disadvantage and you don't have an answer already for that, dude, it's like asked every single interview I've ever been in, or most of them. I mean, nowadays interviews are very much off of not on a script anymore, and it's much more personal as you get more experience. But in those early days starting out, it is very much just reading down a list. Hey, what's your advantages, disadvantages? What do you like about the company? Why do you want to work here? These are basic interview questions. There's tons of YouTube videos. Research them. Figure out those questions. Figure out answers for you, and just do the basics. Have a copy of your resume. Have a copy of the job description you're applying for. Have a cheat sheet of all the things you want to say or let that employer know. And just print those out and have them ready for you. You wouldn't believe how impressed the person interviewing you will be by just having a cheat sheet of just your accomplishments or things you'd like to go over in the interview. As an interviewer, a lot of times I'm just like, God, these interviews make me just... I hate interviewing people. That's just me. I'm just not, I don't like managing people, but a lot of interviewers do feel this way. They don't like that those interviews just become that redundant, ask the same questions, get the same bullshit answers. And if someone asks you what's your biggest disadvantage and you say nothing, you're not going to get hired. Interview skills. Learn them, live them, love them. It's just something you need to learn to get a job. Has absolutely nothing to do with the job. It's just a life skill. So, funny thing is, I've hired people that have been great in interviews and been worthless as employees. And then I've hired people in interviews that are like, well, I kind of need a warm body and this guy kind of fits the bill. So let's go ahead and hire him. And then he turns out to be a rock star. So those things happen. Interview skills don't dictate anything. And don't think, hey, you can just walk in on your merits. Just be prepared. Learn to interview well. And you'll go pretty far and you'll get a lot of job offers. So the next up is one pitfall I see fall, as far as learning, getting in. Let's say you get that initial job and you're like, okay, what do I do now? I'm tired of fixing computers. I'm tired of answering the same help desk on how to set people's email up on their phones. These are menial tasks, but typically where people start and some people get stuck in. So the big thing here is constantly be learning. There's not a week, hopefully I try and go every single day, where I learn something new. Challenge yourself. Tech is a big industry. Making these videos, I'm trying to think of some new ideas or that, and I just try and think of the stuff I don't know and then learn it and then teach it on video. That's one thing I've loved about Linux, is because a lot of the stuff I teach, I had to learn to teach. It's kind of a cool system. So always be learning. And on that note too, I've seen people, some just straight up geniuses, I thought, be doing the same job for 20, 30 years, and they just lose that passion, and they just want to keep doing things the same way that they've always done until they get retired. And these are the people that typically get fired just because, one, they're on the high end of salary, and two, they don't want to learn or do anything extra above and beyond because they're so close to just calling it quits. So always be learning. You know, always have that mind, try and have that youthful mind, and be a sponge and learn new things. So I wanted to end this with just one thing, or really it's 10 things, but it is around one theme. And that theme is IT, and probably many other fields fall into this trap, where you have these skilled professions, people that are just talented in it and gifted, but they just don't put in the work, or just have the talents, but they just don't have the drive to do actual business. And I want to lay out 10 things that require absolutely zero talent but make a world of difference in the IT field. And I'm just gonna just read down the list here, and my personal 10 I just absolutely love. Number 1, being on time. It's important. There's really no explanation that needs to be had here. Show up. You can't do your work if you're not there. Number 2 is work ethic. Have a strong work ethic. What does that mean? It means, let's say there's a problem with the server and you need to stay behind and get it done, and you need to make that sacrifice. Instead of 5 o'clock rolling out and go, all right, cool, 5 o'clock, it's my time to leave, and clocking out, take the extra effort and just kind of have a strong work ethic. Finish whatever you're doing and then go home. 3 is effort, and kind of in that same vein, you need to put in the effort day in and day out. Always be putting in the effort. When you have no effort, or your give a shit button is broken, it's never going to lead to good things. Number 4 is body language. So this is a kind of a big one in the IT field. We're very closed off people. A lot of times I've had technicians that had a hard time making eye contact or making a strong handshake. Body language is extremely important. And my downfall is my posture is complete crap. I've been working on the computer, so I look just all hunched over like that. And I'm constantly trying to fight myself to sit up straight and having good posture, because that's important. And my posture still sucks. It's just something I have to work on, but be conscious of it. Number 5 is energy. You got to have high energy. 6 is attitude. Attitudes are very, very important, because if you have a bad attitude, there's nothing worse than that. Nobody wants someone with a bad attitude on their team or as a coworker. It's just not fun to be around someone that just hates life, or is like, oh, I'm here, I guess I'll do work. This sucks. You want someone with a good attitude, someone that walks in, hey, it's a great day, not annoyingly great, but just, hey, it's a good day. And life's good. Those types of that positive attitude really does rub off on people, and people do notice, and you will go further with a good attitude than a bad one. 8, being coachable. Coachable is super important, and probably the top skill I look for when I try and hire somebody. Being coachable is paramount to pretty much anything else, because when it comes to IT positions, especially as you get more experience and you're looking at like senior systems engineers and those types of things, you put out this wish list that no one meets. There's nobody that has those skills. It's just something you really wish there was somebody that had them all. But there's usually someone out there that meets a couple of them, and in the interview process, the interviewer is always looking, hey, can I teach this person? Or will this person be coachable and be able to pick up and learn these skills? And some people can, some people can't. And, as an interviewer, I'm not very good at picking up on this skill. I wish I was better at it, but the people that I have hired that have been coachable, man, it's just such a fantastic skill. When you get it in an employee, there's nothing better than finding someone that's coachable. Number 9, doing extra. So this one can be summed up in one thing that just grinds my gears, and I hate, and there's nothing that gives me such a bad impression of someone than when they say, that's not my job. Now that's out of my skill set. I don't know how to do that, so I can't do it. All these things show absolutely no extra effort. This person doesn't want to learn. They don't want to put in the time. They don't want to go that extra mile. So you'll see this in more forms of, hey, I'm a Linux admin. I don't work on Windows servers. I'm a Windows admin. I don't work on Linux. Don't know Citrix. I need all these things I've come across in my career path. Instead of saying, I don't know this, I would say, I don't know that, but I'm willing to give it a shot, or, you know, those types of things. Now, I'm not recommending you go cowboy stuff and just go crazy here. Obviously, if it's a production server, it could, you know, be detrimental to the company by just trying something you don't know. Don't do it. Go practice it in test environment, kind of get a good game plan, and then you can apply that to a production. But the thing, or the moral of the story here is, put in the extra effort. Learn that stuff, apply it, and don't be afraid to say you don't know something, but you'd be willing to try it out anyways, or research it and then find a solution for the person asking you. This goes a long way, and you learn and evolve and become a better employee and add so much more value to your job when you do these things. And the last thing, just be prepared. I mean, that's one of the things. And what do I mean by be prepared? Can you give me an example? A migration. Let's say you have a big migration coming up this weekend. Take the time you're at work and just research all the things that can go wrong with that migration. Download the white papers, have all that information ready to go. So when something does go wrong, you're able to tackle it and not waste nearly as much time. It'll show, one, you took the initiative and learned all that, and two, you'll look like you already know what it is you're doing. Even though it might be your first time with that issue, you already have a good idea of the things that can go wrong and how to fix them. So just being prepared is a huge thing. Most people, you know, shoot from the hip and go, I'll just try it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I know it's completely off, you know, my normal videos, but I always get these questions, how to get into the IT field. I just wanted to give some advice. And this is advice that's all over the internet, and also some advice I just wanted to add in from my time hiring people in the IT field, my time actually getting hired in the IT field, and just my overall kind of experiences with this stuff. But let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you wanted to know that I didn't go over about getting into the IT field, and I'll try and help you out any way I can. And with that said, guys, I'll see you on the next video.